Have you ever observed someone enter a space and instantly draw everyone's gaze without uttering a single syllable while you retreat to the edges wishing to remain unnoticed? Perhaps you possess brilliant thoughts but your voice trembles when attempting to express them. Perhaps you recognize possibilities but convince yourself, I lack the self-assurance for that. Or perhaps you've persuaded yourself that certain individuals are simply born with confidence and you're not among them. If you've ever believed that confidence is something you either possess or lack, like a talent you were never granted, then this narrative is meant for you. Because there once lived a young man who held exactly that belief until one experience taught him a reality that transformed everything. Confidence isn't merely something you're born possessing. For the majority of people, it's constructed through preparation, repetition, and discovering how to manage pressure. Remain with me until the conclusion. In a thriving technology company in the center of the metropolis, there worked a 26-year-old software engineer named Alex. Alex excelled at his work. His programming was elegant. His approaches were creative. His supervisors frequently commended his technical abilities. But Alex suffered from one devastating problem. He possessed no confidence, at least not the variety people could observe. In gatherings, he would enter his thoughts into the messaging function instead of voicing them aloud. When his programming resolved a significant issue, he would send it to his supervisor rather than demonstrate it to the group. At organizational functions, he remained in edges, device in hand, acting to be occupied. His co-workers scarcely recognized him, not because he was hostile, but because he was unnoticeable. Every evening, Alex would practice dialogues in his thoughts. Tomorrow I'll contribute. Tomorrow I'll express my thought. But when tomorrow arrived, anxiety immobilized him. His pulse would quicken. His hands would perspire. His thoughts would overflow with uncertainties. They'll believe I'm foolish. What if I'm incorrect? Everyone present is more intelligent than me. Alex observed his colleague Jason smoothly guide gatherings, banter with leadership, propose ambitious concepts. From the exterior, Jason appeared fearless, as though he'd been born possessing something Alex lacked. And Alex never witnessed what occurred before those gatherings: the silent preparation, the mental practices, the manner confident appearing people frequently suppress their anxiety and proceed anyway. Alex convinced himself, certain people possess it, certain people lack it. I'm simply not among the confident individuals. Perhaps I never shall be. His elder sister Sarah, who came once monthly, would inquire, Alex, why don't you pursue that advancement? You're more qualified than half the group. He would gesture dismissively. I'm not management material. I lack the presence for it. That's incorrect. She would object. But Alex had already determined his own restriction. One Tuesday dawn, everything shifted. The week prior, Alex's new system had silently resolved a troublesome obstacle the group had been battling for months. In the urgency to inform leadership, his supervisor mentioned one detail she couldn't retract. The answer came directly from Alex. Alex's supervisor summoned him into her workspace. Alex, I require you to demonstrate your new system to the leadership group on Friday. This could transform our offering. And the chief executive requested to receive it from the individual who created it. Alex's stomach sank. Can't another person demonstrate it? I can prepare them. His supervisor declined. No, nobody else comprehends it the manner you do. This is your creation. You must demonstrate it. And if they challenge with inquiries, she continued, it won't be the visuals that preserve. It'll be you. For 3 days, Alex scarcely rested. He constructed the ideal visual presentation, committed the framework to memory, rehearsed the transitions before his reflection until the phrases felt etched into his mind. But the prospect of positioning himself before those leaders made him physically unwell. Friday appeared like a tempest. Alex entered the meeting space. 12 leaders, 12 sets of eyes. The chief executive sat at the table's head, composed and inscrutable. Alex advanced to the initial visual. He parted his lips too. He pushed out one phrase, weak, unsteady, and then his thoughts slammed closed. It wasn't that he didn't comprehend the creation. Under strain, Individuals can encounter a variety of mental paralysis where access to the subsequent lines suddenly disappears. The following line evaporated. The space felt excessively bright, excessively silent. His hands trembled so intensely he couldn't stabilize the device. Heat climbed up his throat. Perspiration descended down his spine. A moment extended into 2 into 5. Someone cleared their throat. Someone else examined their device. His supervisor attempted to offer him assistance. "Alex, just provide us the single-phrase challenge first." But his throat constricted and nothing emerged. After several agonizing moments, his supervisor intervened, tone controlled, but pressing. "I believe Alex requires a moment. Let's pause briefly." Alex departed quickly. Excessively quickly. As if he didn't exit immediately, he would shatter before everyone. He located the closest restroom and secured himself inside a compartment. His entire body shook. He pressed his temple against the frigid barrier and whispered, "What is incorrect with me?" He understood the system. He constructed it. He could clarify it flawlessly to a display to himself. But in that space under those gazes, it was as though a mechanism switched. "I cannot accomplish this," he whispered. "I'll never be capable of accomplishing this. I'm not designed for it." For the initial time in his profession, he genuinely contemplated resigning. That evening, devastated and humiliated, he sat isolated in a cafe, gazing at his computer display without perceiving it. Beyond the glass, individuals moved in consistent streams, conversing, expressing amusement, existing as though confidence was as ordinary as respiration. Alex felt like a disappointment, not because he lacked ability, but because he lacked the single thing that appeared to matter most in existence, the capacity to appear when it mattered. He sat there submerging in self-questioning, digits resting on the keys, motionless, as though if he didn't shift, the humiliation would remain silent. And that's when he observed his beverage had turned cold. As Alex sat there submerging in self-questioning, a woman in her 50s approached his surface. She possessed compassionate eyes and an atmosphere of silent confidence. He hadn't observed her at the surface nearby until he perceived her close her journal. She'd been working silently there the entire duration. "Pardon me," she stated gently. "I couldn't avoid observing you appear to be bearing a substantial burden. I'm Dr. Michelle Ross. I work with individuals on execution under strain. Would you care to converse?" He took one breath, he anchored his feet, and he commenced. "Good morning. Today, I'm going to demonstrate you how we can reduce processing duration by 40%. His tone shook slightly, but it was audible. He demonstrated for 12 minutes. He responded to inquiries. When someone challenged back, he didn't crumble. He explained. When he completed, his supervisor gazed at him for a beat, then expressed approval. "Outstanding creation, Alex," she stated. "This is the version of you they require to observe." In the corridor afterward, Jason acknowledged. Once and stated, "That was substantial." Most individuals don't realize how much rehearsal it requires to appear composed. 2 weeks later, she scheduled the second opportunity. Not a massive platform, a smaller leadership space, elevated stakes, but not a termination assembly. This occasion, the chief executive joined for the final few minutes. Same topic, same eyes, but something was different. Not in the space. In Alex, he understood the material inside and out. He'd conditioned for strain instead of wishing it wouldn't arrive. He recalled Dr. Ross's phrases. "Confidence is movement with fear in the space." He took a breath. He positioned tall and he commenced. It wasn't a direct path. Some days his tone still shook, but the avoidance was gone and the repetitions kept accumulating. 3 months later, Alex guided his initial major undertaking demonstration to clients. 6 months later, he received the advancement his sister always understood he merited. A year later, co-workers who once didn't recognize his identity came to him for guidance. Not because he became another person, because he acquired what confidence actually is. Something you construct. One afternoon, Alex encountered Dr. Ross for beverages to express gratitude. "You granted me my profession back," he stated. She expressed approval. No, Alex, I simply demonstrated you what was already genuine. You always possessed competence. You just hadn't acquired how to access it under strain. Alex gazed down at his container for a moment, then expressed amusement softly like the sound surprised him. So, I wasn't absent confidence, he stated. Dr. Ross declined. You weren't absent, you were unconditioned. And that's incredible information because conditioning is something you can accomplish. She leaned in slightly. Individuals wait to experience confident, but confident individuals don't wait. They construct evidence one repetition at a time. My friend, if you're observing this and thinking, I wish I possessed confidence like other individuals. Here's what Alex acquired the difficult manner. You are not absent confidence because you're damaged. You're absent confidence because you haven't conditioned the ability. And that's incredible information because abilities can be acquired. Recall these three realities. First, construct the knowledge base. Confidence develops when you actually comprehend what you're accomplishing. So, you're not grasping to a manuscript. You're communicating from clarity. Examine your craft thoroughly. Prepare thoroughly. Invest the hours. Second, acquire experience progressively. You don't begin by addressing to 500 individuals. You begin by addressing to 5, then 10, then 20. Small spaces construct substantial resilience. Each exposure teaches your brain, I can endure this. Third, take movement before you experience ready. This is the most significant one. Confidence doesn't create movement. Movement creates confidence. You will never experience 100% ready. Accomplish it anyway. Accomplish it frightened. Accomplish it with trembling hands. Because on the opposite side of fear is evidence. Evidence that you can. So here's what I desire you to accomplish this week. Simple, functional, genuine. Day 1, identify one circumstance where you typically remain silent. Commit to contributing. Up once. Day 2 to day 3. Examine someone you believe is confident. Pay attention to what you don't observe. The preparation, the repetitions, the errors they worked through. Day 4 to day 7. Take one small uncomfortable movement daily. Pose an inquiry, express an opinion, introduce yourself to someone novel. Not to become another person, but to become more of you, the version of you that doesn't disappear when it matters. Because here's the reality. The confident individuals you admire, most of them began exactly where you exist. Frightened, questioning, convinced they weren't designed for it. The distinction isn't that they were talented. It's that they conditioned, they rehearsed, they experienced failure, they acquired, and now it's your opportunity. If this narrative granted you hope that confidence is constructible, express it with someone who believes they were born without it. And leave a comment informing me what's one uncomfortable movement you're going to take this week to construct your confidence. Until next occasion, recall you're not waiting to become confident. You're acquiring to be confident. And that journey commences today. Cease waiting to experience ready. Begin constructing the ability. The confident version of you is not another person. It's you with rehearsal.